They shine so bright, you might go blind. Blind, blind. When I walk through, they close their blinds. I'm gonna show off, I know it's time. I am my price, no.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll be giving you some steps to follow to make sure that your press-ons last for a long time and you get the wear that you really want to get out of your press-ons. When I follow these steps in this video, I usually have my press-ons on for at least 3 weeks. And then when I decide to take them off, I take them off, properly. But even then, they're still like so attached to my hand. These steps have literally never failed me. I'm here to give you guys the steps that I follow that have literally never failed me. The nails that I'm putting on in this video is just like some random press-on nails that I made just out of boredom. They're supposed to be like a pink base, and there's a white French tip underneath, and then it's just like some tiger stripes with rhinestones on them. So really cute, really simple, and just fun to put on. So the first thing you want to do is to wash and dry your hands. I find that when I wash and dry my hands and my hands are damped during this process, it's easier to get rid of cuticles, cut down nails if you need to, and also do the filing and buffing later. It just makes sure that like when you are going in with such harsh tools that you are not damaging your hand. This process should not hurt. And so when you wash your hands, you not only ensure that you have clean hands to work with, but you also make sure that your fingernails and your nail beds aren't being harmed by working on dry hands. And so, yes, that is the first step. I had cutting your nails as optional simply because, some people have habits of just biting on their nails, so they're already down. Another thing is some people just would prefer not to cut their natural nails, and that's totally fine too, as long as the nails that you are putting on are longer than your nails and just fit your nail properly, even though you still have the nail on. Now that I've cut my nails down, the next step is to soften your cuticle by using some kind of cuticle remover. You can also just make sure you thoroughly dampen your finger beds just to make sure that your cuticles are very soft and easy to remove. And the other thing that I use to soften and remove the excess, basically skin, because that's what it is, skin that's on your finger bed, is a cuticle stick. It can be a wood stick. Sometimes they come in like plastic. Here I have like a medical grade cuticle stick that I'm going to be using to just clear away my cuticles. This is the wood stick. And then you would use that slanted part of the cuticle stick to push back and remove your cuticle. So I'm going through with a light hand and I'm just going over the surface of my nail really lightly and just removing all of the excess in my cuticle. When you do this, it just ensures that you won't have lifting at the cuticle area. Sometimes when we leave that cuticle skin there at the base of our fingernails, it kind of develops oil and all of the things that come from your nail bed naturally, and it just causes lifting in that area because technically your nail bed isn't flat. With the cuticle skin there, it's elevated, and so it's easier to lift down there. And so by removing this, you kind of work with not only a clean surface but a flat surface, and it just allows the nails to lay better and stay better and longer. Just a heads up, I'll only be doing the process to one of my hands on camera just to save us some camera time. It's pretty much the same thing you'll do to both hands. And as I'm doing this, I'm just gonna allow the video to montage out, play a little music, and I'll come back when we're ready for the next step. So depending on where you get your press-on nails from, they should come with like some sort of application kit. The application kit can include something like sticky tabs. Sticky tabs are more for a temporary use of the press-on nails. Typically when you use them, you only want them on for about a day, or maybe you're only using them for that week. And so you'll just use those to apply the nails rather than using nail glue, which would adhere a lot longer. Here I'm just showing you some things that usually come in the application kit. The first thing I showed you was a plastic, kind of like a hard plastic cuticle pusher. And here you can see the little sticky tabs that's usually in the application kit if needed. And then here is the little file that should have a decent grit on the file, meaning like it should be coarse enough, hard enough for you to be able to fully buff out the surface of your nail. And so now we're on to the fourth step, which is to file and buff the nail bed. Little disclaimer, you will not see me buff my nail bed in this video. Just simply due to preference. I tend to not buff the surface of my nail and leave that gritty feeling that comes from the file, because I personally believe that my nails adhere better when I don't buff out my nails to begin with. Now, there's different kinds of buffs for different reasons, and we won't get into that in this video, but just for now, you can either use a file or a buffer to really get in the surface of your nail. Here, I'm just going in left and right motions, back and forth, kind of horizontally and sometimes vertically on my nail beds and each of my fingers. And I'm just taking my time with this process because this is probably the longest part. Just making sure that you are removing the shine off of your nail and making sure that your nail is a completely blank canvas of oil, of clear, just, making sure that it is nice, clear, crisp, and rigid. The file that I'm using is an 8080 grit file, and it's from the brand Sunshine. Honestly, I just grabbed it from a nail supply store, but they do sell them on Amazon. You can get them from the beauty supply store if you're near one. You can get it from any nail supply store online. They're pretty much everywhere. And so that's what I use on my hands. And as you can see, I'm definitely getting into the corners of my nails, because if you worn them for a while, you know that the first place that your press-on nail will lift is on the sides or near the cuticle area. And so that's why it's important that we clear those areas and make sure that it is a completely blank and rigid canvas, so that when we go and apply the nails using whatever adhesion we want to, they just last longer. This is a comparison of both of my hands. One I did not buff and file out yet. The other one I did file. And if they're not white like that, honey, you didn't do it right. And so now I'm here. I have both of my nails filed. And now we're on to the 5th step, which is to wipe your nails with alcohol or acetone. Again, you can do this step if the white on your hands bother you. I don't. That's just an optional kind of thing. But I just don't do it because I find that my nails at this stage is just perfect for me. The next step is to grab you some acetone or alcohol and a round brush, because you're going to use this later to clean up any nail glue spills that you might have. Sometimes when we're applying the nail, we don't know if we've applied too much glue, or maybe when we're adding pressure, we add too much pressure and the glue kind of like spills out on the sides, and that's okay. The 8th step, grab what you're going to use to adhere your nails. Here I have some sticky tabs, which I mentioned earlier, that can be used for a temporary thing. Here we also have the KDS nail glue. This is very common. A lot of nail shops use it to apply their tips. And then here is some ASP Pink Instant Nail Glue, which I buy from Sally's. I cannot find it anywhere but Sally's. And in this video, I'm going to be using the ASP Pink Nail Glue. When you find what you're going to use to put on your press-on nails, the next thing you want to do is plan to go from your pinky to your thumb. Find that when you do this step, when it's time to move on to your other hand, you're not using fingers that are still wet and trying to dry from the glue. When you start to use the glue, you want to start with one thin layer across the entire nail bed. And then I'm going to go in with a second layer of glue, and it's usually a bit thicker than the first one, just to make sure the nail actually really sticks down. I don't put too much to the point that it's spilling over the sides of my fingers though. Now when I apply this, I apply it on from the cuticle to the top of the nail. It's like putting a piece of chicken in the skillet. You don't slap it in there. You lay it down from one side to the other. And so that's what I do with my nails. Once I lay it down, I apply gentle pressure for about 10 to 15 seconds and just going over and just, pressing all over the nail, making sure that it is really on there. Then if you find that you have a little bit spilled out, that's when you'll use the acetone, and we'll see that a little bit later. So I'm going to repeat these steps for all of my fingers, and then I'll come back when we find that maybe we have some spillage leaking out, and I'm going to tell you what you do for when that happens. Okay, so here when I was applying pressure to the nail, I noticed that a little bit of nail glue was seeping out. And so I'm using my acetone and just wiping across the area that I saw it seep out and just clean it up. What the acetone does is it kind of like melts down the glue, if that makes sense. It makes it like tacky so that, one, it doesn't lift up, and two, it cleans up the glue. Because if you've done this a few times, you would know that like when you apply your nails and you have glue that seep out on the side, sometimes it like crusts up, it just forms, and then later you can just literally peel it off your finger. And so that just prevents that. Now I'm going to repeat steps 1 through 12 on all of my fingers. And I'm just going to montage this out. So we're not talking. Well, I'm not talking the entire time. And you guys get to actually just watch me do it. just hopping in to note something really quickly. When I apply my nails, I don't apply them directly on my cuticle area. I go above it just slightly so that it gives me that like acrylic like effect, and they don't actually look like press-ons. In addition to that, sometimes I find that if I put my press-on nail on top of that area, it will lift a lot faster. So here you see I have both of my nails on. We got to do a little sturdy test. A little, yeah. Yeah. Why am I folding my hand? But yes, just testing it out, and they feel quite sturdy. I have them on right now, and they're still going strong. The next thing you want to do, because moisture is just essential, you want to grab any cuticle oil that you have. I got this one from Walmart, I think, but they have them everywhere. And the two things that you can use to apply your cuticle oil, sometimes people you just use their plain finger. They use their finger, apply it on, and just rub it in that way. Or they'll go in with a brush. I use like this old cuticle brush thing. I don't use the oil that's in it. I just use the brush part to dip into my cuticle oil and then brush on my fingers. I have no idea why I don't use the cuticle oil that's in it. It seems like I've used it before. I can't remember why, but that's neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. So I just use the brush, go back and forth, just making sure I'm getting my cuticle, moisturizing them good, because we can't have no ashy hands now. Once I apply it all over my fingers, then I just go in and then just massage it in those areas, making sure that everything is just getting massaged well, everything is getting that cuticle oil on it. And considering that we kind of abused our cuticles in a way, I would say, this oil is really nice to hydrate the hands. Very, very nice. And so most people stop here. They just, put a little cuticle oil on and just carry on about their business, which is fine. But after the cuticle oil, I'll go in with some of my favorite lotion. Right now, I buy my lotion from the nail supply store. It's kind of like the same lotion that they use in the nail salon when they rub the lotion on your hands after they're done. I felt like that was my favorite part. I love that part. Not even the nails. It was this part. And so I bought some from the nail supply store, and it was around $2. And a little goes a long way, y'all. It is so moisturizing, and it smells so good. You can't have pretty nails on and ashy hands. We can't do that. So this is the end of the video. These are my essential steps and tips to having long-lasting press-ons and to get your full wear out of them. I love you guys, and if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, comment, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.